What's up, y'all? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. And today, I've been talking about a wide range of topics, but it seems like my little channel here has become so damn bipolar. It seems like I'm either talking about like some black shit or I'm talking about some Star Wars shit. You know what I mean? And occasionally, the two converge. Not right now, though. Today, I want to talk about this article that I saw about the upcoming Solo movie. And the title is, and I thought this was kind of provocative, it starts off, why do some Star Wars fans want the Han Solo movie to flop? Yes, why do some Star Wars fans want the Han Solo movie to flop? Are you one of those? Alright, listen up. Since the early 80s, Star Wars fans have ranked among pop culture's most ardent, voluble, and in all the most classical modes of the term, geeky. Geeky? Really geeky? Oh, fuck you. Geeky movie devotees. They recite chapter and verse of the stilted dialogue. They inveigh against the very existence of Ewoks with an irrational rage. Okay, I see where this article is going, but I'm still going to read it anyway. They nod in solemn agreement that Han, not Greedo, shot first. Well, he did. They named their children Anakin and Leia and even Arturitu, as R2-D2 is known in several Latin American countries. But increasingly, Star Wars fans are also known to rain down righteous scorn whenever confronted by a perceived affront to their cherished IP, to wit, the recent backlash against The Last Jedi for being too jokey, for Luke Skywalker being insufficiently Obi-Wan Kenobi-ish. I haven't heard that particular criticism. Luke Skywalker was too Obi-Wan Kenobi-ish. Really? That's interesting because I actually like the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't think that that's been a criticism of the vast majority of critics of Last Jedi. I think that we reject The Last Jedi because The Last Jedi was a plot hole infested, zero character developing piece of shit movie. Any other questions? Any other mystery? Proceeding. And for straying too far from the franchise's established tone, even while the film received no small number of critical raves, which Disney no doubt paid for. I fucking believe that. Yes, because any critic that did not point out that The Last Jedi did not have character development and full of plot holes, to me, just lost their credibility because the movie blatantly had those things going on. It was a deeply, deeply flawed movie. Even if it was exciting and shot brilliantly, it was a deeply flawed movie. And if the critic of your choice didn't point that out, then they're full of shit. Going on. The upshot. The Last Jedi got the lowest Rotten Tomatoes audience score of any movie in the series, and taking in $1.3 billion in global box office receipts came up about $200 million short of financial analysts' predictions. Leading into Sunday's Super Bowl unveiling of the first teaser trailer and full trailer reveal the following day for Solo, A Star Wars Story, which is due in theaters May 25th, the interwebs were again rife with fan discontent. That's because the trailer looks stupid. At issue, just 4 months out from the release of this standalone prequel that is set to fill in the backstory of Harrison Ford's beloved space smuggler Han Solo, a veil of secrecy and bad buzz had enveloped the Alden Ehrenreich starring space western. Then, right around the time of the trailer drop, a curious thing happened. Star Wars fans began to actively root for the film to flop. Part of us wants this film to fail, said Joe Vargas, host of The Angry Joe Show on YouTube, 2.9 million subscribers, whose self-described purview is games, movies, and geek stuff. Yeah, I've checked out a few of his videos. Good job, man. I was thinking maybe if Disney does bad, Disney will be smarter with how they do these future things. Honestly, I didn't want a movie about Han Solo, added co-host Joe Lopez. Neither did I. Listen, it's not that hard to figure out. If you want to know what the future of the franchise is, it's probably going into the future, not going into the past. The first thing they did wrong, as far as the prequels were concerned, is they told us the story of Darth Vader, which we already knew. I think Obi-Wan probably told the story in probably 30 seconds. But you want to build 3 movies around it, knowing the way it's going to end? It's like watching Titanic 3 times. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, it was great special effects. There were some great moments. And like I always said, the best part of the prequels to me was... the greatest part of the prequels to me was Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Loved him in that role. I would love to see him reprise it. But other than that, who needed the prequels at all? On the heels of months of anonymously sourced reports detailing the film's troubled production, this blast of bad press is almost certainly the last thing Lucasfilm wants. In June came the internet-breaking announcement that original co-directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller had been fired from Solo, then known as Young Han Solo, after clashing creatively with studio boss hog Kathleen Kennedy. 2 days later, journeyman filmmaker Ron Howard was hired to finish the film, which reportedly only had 3 weeks of shooting left. Then came the stories of internal chaos and budget overrun from the set. Lucasfilm execs were so dismayed by Ehrenreich's performance, they hired an acting coach for him midway through production. He must be horrible. And Howard had reportedly reshot up to 80% of the movie, cutting out the performance of Michael K. Williams, a great actor by the way, in its entirety. Matters weren't helped by trailers and posters for the film being held back until this week, furthering the impression that Disney had something to hide, or the unverified but widely circulated December 24th report on Screen Geek, attributed to a source close to the film's production, that the Solo script was unworkable, and that Disney is bracing themselves for the Han Solo movie to bomb. They were worried about it before all the Last Jedi controversy. Now they're essentially writing Solo off. Somehow, that specter of financial underperformance caught fire within the segment of the fan community, and in a January 28th Forbes op-ed column entitled "Why I Want Solo, a Star Wars Story to Fail," contributing writer Danny DePlacido laid out in broad strokes. Sorry guys, I am horrible with names, so you have to bear with me. I can barely pronounce my own name half the time. Laid out broad strokes both the main knocks against the film and a newly partisan outlook toward its floppage. I want Solo to bomb spectacularly at the box office, mercilessly mauled by the critics. I want an army of furious Star Wars fans out in force, furiously tweeting with their finger firmly on the caps lock button, launching wave upon wave of angry reaction gifs, DePlacido wrote. It doesn't matter how good the film is, frankly, because I hate the idea. Solo is Hollywood at its most cynical, squeezing every last drop of blood from an iconic character until he's nothing but a faded husk played by Alden Ehrenreich. Damn right, man. Fucking A. I like that. I think we all see what's going on with Disney. Alright, and this is the reason why. For all you fans who don't understand, who have been on the fence, who just think that no one hates Star Wars fans more than Star Wars. No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. Alright, this is what it's about. It's about being respectful to what we love. It's about protecting what we love and not letting the vampires get at it to the point where you just can't stand it every time you're sitting in a movie theater and you see the name Lucasfilm and Disney flash across the screen and everyone just rolls their eyes. It's a sad day when something like that happens. Remember with the original trilogy, whenever you would hear, to this day, when the movie starts, before you hear the iconic score of Star Wars, what did we used to hear first that used to get our hearts pumping? We used to hear brum bum brum bum brum bum. Remember that? 20th Century Fox. Alright? Not Disney. And that's not what we have today. Now, I'm not saying that I'm against change. All I'm saying is that when we heard that, we knew that we were going to get a treat. We knew that we were going to see something that we wanted to see. It's like these days when you see Lucasfilm and then you see the fucking Magic Kingdom castle, you're not sure what you're going to get, man. You know, I'm just sorry. It just doesn't feel the same as what I'm saying. Okay, let me see if I lost the article. Damn. let me see. But more troublesome for many of the Star Wars faithful, Solo conjures up memories of previous prequel installments, namely Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which I like, by the way. Revenge of the Sith, which are generally understood as the franchise's lowest creative ebb. Star Wars, excuse me guys, Star Wars has a troubled history with prequel films, noted YouTube cultural commentator Ryan Straight Up in a February 5th Solo trailer reaction video, and that combined with the fact that Lucasfilm is telling a story that I don't really think needs to be told leaves much to be desired about the film. And frankly, it gives it much higher expectations. It gives it much higher expectations than it probably should. So anyway, this is a very long article because I'm going to stop there and I'm going to leave the link in the comment section. But I couldn't agree more. The Solo story is not one that needs to be told. By the time we meet Han Solo in A New Hope, you kind of get a feel for where he's been. See, that's the appeal of Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford always seemed to be kind of world weary in his roles. Like, you kind of got the idea that he's been through some shit, you know what I mean? So you don't need to know specifically what makes a Han Solo. You kind of understand because of the way he's portrayed on screen. That thing that Harrison Ford brought out, that I've seen it all, I've been there, I've done that. And Harrison Ford, or I should say Han Solo's awakening as a character really happened when he found something and someone to fight for. That's the way his character works. You could go back and yeah, you could see how he met Lando. You could see how he met Chewbacca, how he won the Millennium Falcon. You could see all that bullshit, man, but nobody really cares. And nobody surely doesn't care about his so-called mentor, Woody Harrelson. Come on, man. It's like nobody cares, man. No one really cares. So you're giving us a movie we didn't ask for, that we don't want to see. If you had to make a Han Solo standalone movie, I would have made one that takes place somewhere between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. You know, that's a very fertile ground right there, where you could show us in perhaps standalone movies where these characters were, and that would fill in a lot of the plot holes that the new trilogy has. If you would show us what Han, Leia, and Luke were up to between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. That's your sweet spot right there. Not going back before all the shit happened. So yeah, I understand the thought pattern that says we want this movie to flop. I understand the thought pattern, but listen, don't mistake it. No Star Wars fan wants a Star Wars movie to flop. All right, that's not what we want. What we want is good, exciting adventure, entertainment that occasionally uplifts you and inspires you. That's what we want. That's what Star Wars fans want. We want to see Star Wars succeed. But what Disney is showing us is something that will lead down a path of destruction to sound like the Jedi. Once you go down that road, there's no coming back. And believe me, chasing after riches and chasing after dollars the way Disney is doing and not wanting to give back in terms of movie, that's the dark side of the Force, baby. You know, so that's what we're objecting to. We don't want to see our beloved Star Wars used that way. Give us a good story. Give us a substantial story. Give us a story that has growth and character development and a hero's journey and triumph. And we won't care if you put the hero as a white person, a black person, a woman, or man. Just give us something that is real, that we can feel. That's what we want. Not your fucking, never-ending chase for money. And all that bullshit merchandise that you put up on the shelves that's not selling. Get a fucking clue. And I think that's another thing that we object to in the Star Wars community. You people get paid how much money? Billions of dollars you get paid. Creative minds are getting paid millions of dollars. And the best you can come up with is what you've been coming up with? That makes no sense. It's unacceptable. Use your fucking brain and think more about the story that you're putting on the screen. And maybe you'll make money if you give us a quality product. Think about it like that. So anyway, there you have it. Why do Star Wars fans want the Han Solo movie to fail? Ultimately, because if that's what it takes to put Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, if that's what it takes to put them on the right track, then fucking fail. Because we're not just going to take anything. Now, okay, some people will. But I think more and more of us are beginning to feel this way. Star Wars is a very particular thing. It's not the kind of franchise you can fuck around with, because all of us have been through this. We've been going on this journey now for our whole lives. So of course we're going to feel strong about it. And we shouldn't be shamed into accepting any old piece of shit that you put out in the movie theater. It doesn't work that way. So as my mom used to say back in the day, put on your thinking cap and come up with some shit that we can really get behind. It shouldn't be that hard. Hire some real creative minds who have a responsibility and feel that sense of responsibility to the fans and come up with a quality product. Just that simple. Anyway, this is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.